Soon, Penny stood at the bottom of Buttertop Hill, gazing up at the 378 steps that spiraled all the way to the top. But she didn't mind. She loved climbing those stairs more than anything. For at the top lived Poppy Puffin, an old gingerbread woman who had once been the royal baker to the pastry king and queen. And every morning she would share her special biscuit-baked sunshine with anyone who reached the top of the hill before sunrise. Now, the sun wasn't real, but it didn't need to be. To Penny, it felt just as warm and comforting as any real sun, and the sweet, sparkly light tasted better than any fruit juice. And while the climb was tiring, the thought of that first delicious bite kept Penny hopping up the stairs like a skipping biscuit. Almost there, she panted happily. As she neared the top, she could hear the gentle tinkle of chimes, and the smell of cinnamon tickled her nose. Then she saw it, a little gingerbread house, cozy and crumbly, with smoke curling from its candy chimney. And right beside it, a sign read, "One crumb at a time." Taking a deep breath, Penny rang the little doorbell, which was shaped like a gumdrop. And in a moment, the door opened and out popped Poppy Puffin, her gingerbread face crinkled into a smile. "Good morning, Penny," she chirped, her voice like the crackling of a spice-filled oven. "You're just in time. Come in, come in." And stepping inside, Penny gasped. The little house was like a miniature bakery, filled with the most wonderful sights and smells. Gingerbread men marched around shelves laden with cakes and pastries. Tiny ovens glowed merrily on window sills. And everywhere, sprinkled like magic fairy dust, were golden crumbs. And right in the middle of it all sat a small table with a plate piled high with warm, fragrant biscuits. Poppy Puffin beamed at Penny and poured 2 steaming mugs of cinnamon tea. "Here you are, dearie," she said, handing one to Penny. "And do try one of these biscuits. They're still warm from the oven." And taking a seat, Penny carefully picked up a biscuit and nibbled it. Oh, how it sparkled and crunched and tasted like pure golden sunshine. With each bite, Penny felt happier than ever. She loved these mornings, this sweet, crumbly piece before the rest of the world woke up. Sipping her tea, she watched as Poppy Puffin bustled about the room, humming a merry tune. The old baker was a flurry of motion, yet somehow everything she did seemed slow and graceful like a well-rehearsed dance. "Would you like to learn how to bake, child?" Poppy Puffin asked suddenly, glancing at Penny with twinkling eyes. "Learn how to bake?" Penny echoed, surprised. "But I don't know anything about baking," she said, blushing. "That's quite all right. One crumb at a time," Poppy Puffin chuckled, winking. "And besides, you have a gift, my dear. You bring joy to every crumb you touch." She gazed at Penny, her expression suddenly serious. "You have the touch, child. All you need is a little guidance." After a moment of silence, Penny took a deep breath. She had always loved watching her mother bake, sprinkling flour and sugar with delicate paws, coaxing the dough into perfect eclairs. Maybe it was the endless possibilities, the transformation of simple ingredients into something magical, or maybe it was just the delicious smells that filled their house every morning. Whatever it was, Penny knew she wanted to learn how to bake. "Will you teach me?" she whispered, her voice filled with hope. Poppy Puffin smiled, her eyes crinkling at the corners. "Of course, my dear," she said softly. "We'll start tomorrow. Now, would you like another biscuit? I just took them out of the oven." At Penny's enthusiastic nod, Poppy Puffin chuckled and reached for another warm biscuit. Soon, the two were lost in conversation, sipping their tea and sharing stories as they nibbled on fresh-baked sunshine. Time passed like a gentle breeze through a field of wheat, carefree and sweet. Eventually, the sky turned a pale lavender, hinting at the dawn to come. "It's almost time for me to go," Penny said reluctantly, stretching out her paws. "Oh, it's been such a wonderful morning." "The pleasure was all mine, dearie," Poppy Puffin replied, her eyes sparkling. "Now run along. You wouldn't want to be late for breakfast, would you?" Giggling, Penny nodded and dashed down the stairs, her heart brimming with joy and her stomach rumbling in anticipation of the wonderful breakfast Poppy Puffin had packed for her. Running past houses with thatched roof, gardens, rose bushes, blooming with marzipan flowers, Penny skipped toward home. The warm glow of the rising sun glinted off the dew-kissed petals, making the whole village sparkle like a jewel box. Soon, she could see her own house, its brioche walls aglow in the morning light. Pushing open the door, she was greeted by the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee and pastries. In the kitchen, her mother, Madame Eclair, stood at the counter, her back turned. "Good morning, Mama," Penny chirped, setting down her biscuit-packed lunch bag. "Did you have a good morning?" her mother asked without turning around. "The bestest morning," Penny replied, her eyes shining. Then she told her mother all about her morning with Poppy Puffin, the gingerbread house and the warm sunshine biscuits. Madame Eclair listened patiently, a faint smile gracing her lips. When Penny finished, her mother finally turned around, her face grave. "Penny," she said softly, "we need to talk." Startled by her mother's serious tone, Penny could only nod, her eyes wide with worry. What had she done wrong? Had she not been careful enough with the dough? Was her latest batch of cookies not perfect? Had she forgotten to put sugar in the brioche? 1,000 questions raced through her head, each one more panicked than the last. Just then, Madame Eclair knelt down so she was level with Penny's eyes. "Oh, my sweet pea," she said, her voice filled with compassion. "You haven't done anything wrong." Relieved, Penny let out a shaky breath. "Then what is it, Mama?" she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. Madame Eclair hesitated, as if searching for the right words. "Poppy Puffin has asked if you would like to become her apprentice." "What?" Penny exclaimed, her eyes widening with surprise. She had been so worried about upsetting her mother. And this was her reward. This was the bestest news ever. But how could she possibly be an apprentice to the legendary Poppy Puffin? Her excitement bubbled over. Yes, I want that," she cried, throwing her arms around her mother's waist. Madame Eclair hugged her back, her body stiff with restrained emotion. "I knew you would say yes," she murmured into Penny's ear. "She's the best baker in the kingdom, and I can think of no one better to carry on her legacy." Penny pulled away, her face flushed with happiness. "Thank you, Mama," she whispered, her eyes shining with gratitude. Then, unable to contain herself any longer, she raced out of the house, down the stairs of Buttertop Hill and toward Poppy Puffin's cozy gingerbread cottage. Bursting through the door, she cried, "I'll be your apprentice. I'll learn one crumb at a time." Poppy Puffin looked up from her mixing bowl, her face breaking into a wide grin. "Oh, my dearie, I knew you'd come back," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "Now come, we have so much to learn." And so began Penny's apprenticeship. Every morning before sunrise, she would race to Poppy Puffin's side, eager to learn a new trick of the trade. There were flour-covered hugs and sugar-dusted giggles, laughter echoing through the gingerbread halls. Together, they baked bread loaves big and small, each one a testament to the growing bond between them. As the weeks passed, Poppy Puffin shared not just baking tips, but life lessons, too. She taught Penny the importance of patience, the value of hard work and the magic of a sprinkle of joy added to every task. In turn, Penny's youthful enthusiasm reminded Poppy Puffin of the wonder and passion that had first led her to the oven all those years ago. Their laughter mingled with the scent of fresh-baked bread, creating memories as sweet and enduring as the biscuits that lined their window sills.